Great pleasure to welcome back a good friend to us here at the show, a good friend of mine and a good friend of yours out there. She's got a brand new CD out. We're going to find all about it. It's called Volare. The great Deana Martin joining us again on the show. How are you, Deana?
I am excellent. I'm so happy to be back on your show.
We said we'd do this back in, I guess, the winter when we did it last time, and here you are. So I'm glad you could make it.
Here I am. Thank you very much. I'm thrilled. We just got good news about Volare today. Billboard magazine called us and said that I'm number 7 for the Heat Seekers.
Wow.
And that my album in the first week went up. I'm on top jazz albums. I'm number 22. It just came out today.
With a bullet, as they used to say. Remember that?
With a bullet. I love that. With a bullet. So I'm excited. I think it's a wonderful album, and a lot of hard work went into it.
I know last time we talked, you were, I think, just doing the finishing touches on it, or maybe you were going to Capitol at that point to record the tracks, and
yes,
like you said, it took a while, didn't it?
Oh, it certainly did. We were so busy. We were so busy with everything that I was doing, with the concerts and radio and this and that, and so finally we do have it finished, and, we recorded it down there in, not in Sarasota, but we were in Florida, in Miami.
Miami, right.
Yes, and you have fantastic musicians in Florida.
A lot of them that worked in New York or Chicago or maybe some in L.A. make their home down here, so it's a great musical place, isn't it, Florida?
It certainly is, and what a thrill for me to be able to sing in front of, a big band, great orchestra, and I mean, we just took the best, and it turned out just great.
And you did it in the style of your dad and Frank, pretty much where you sing live with the band, right, for the most part?
A lot of it was like that, and but of course when we laid down the tracks for some of the songs, and I did them at Capitol,
mm-hmm.
and of course we had the incredible Al Schmidt,
sure.
who mixed it. He only has about 20 Grammy awards. I think the last Grammy he won was for Natalie Cole's Still Unforgettable this year. So we had some very good people, working on this album. And speaking of Al being a 20-time Grammy Award winner, my dad won the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award this year.
Yeah, I think you came on just after the Grammys back in February, and you said
yes.
You got a chance to see that. Unfortunately, the TV show doesn't always put on the best parts of the Grammys.
Can you imagine? Well, hopefully this year I'll be going to the Grammys.
You're going to be there, Deana, I can tell.
Yes, if everybody will go out and buy my album, it would be fantastic.
I don't understand. I mean, I do understand partially why the show is like it is, but there's so many people, not necessarily of a certain age group, but all age groups that like jazz, standards, and big bands. Why don't they give that at least 5% of the show instead of less than 1%?
Well, I am talking to them about that, and I don't know. All of these shows are catering to the younger people, and that and that's fine. They do buy a lot of albums, but I think people who love the Great American Songbook and jazz and all of the great songs and big band, they're the ones that have the money. They're the ones who should be out buying the CDs.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So I think the Grammys and all of the shows have to really wise up and see who the buying public is, and I don't think we should be catering to the young groups for the entire thing. You were absolutely right. Maybe 80%.
I would like to see it, but half the music that's on there I've never even heard of the artists. And I'm not exactly, a hermit. I kind of follow it a little bit, but some of those people I have no idea who they are.
I hate to say it. Same with me. And it was funny, and I know that I probably mentioned it on the show when I was on back in February, is that MIA was sitting right in front of me, actually right in front of John. I didn't know who, that was MIA, and then she got up and she started doing the rap pack, and, she was 9 months pregnant. I mean, it was quite an awesome experience for all of us involved.
It's not like the good old days when the Grammy show was pretty much every song you heard of.
Yes. And you knew the singers and you knew the musicians, and actually, I believe Les Brown Sr., was one of the first ones that started the Grammys. And,
did he really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Les Brown Sr. And that's something that people should know about. And it was a small dinner, and they gave the awards to who they thought, was doing the best work.
Talking with Deana Martin. The name of the CD is called Volare, and just looking at some of the great standards you have on there. You got Please Don't Talk About Me When I'm Gone, a great song there. Mac the Knife, which Bobby Darin had a huge hit with. And, of course, Volare, which your dad had a great hit with. It must have been difficult. I know there were so many great songs out there, but to pick the ones for this album, that must have been a bit of a challenge, huh?
It was a bit of a challenge, but each and every song has a special meaning to me. Of course, well, first of all, the arrangement and Please Don't Talk About Me When You're Gone is fantastic. I think it's hot, it swings. It was so much fun to record, and that is a very energizing song when you're on stage singing it, especially in front of a big band. But when I think about what a difference a day makes, my mom, my sweet mom, said, that was her favorite song. So I thought, well, I have to put that on it. And then John's mom, my stepmother, Christine, hers was A Kiss to Build a Dream On. And I've always loved that. So there are songs that I just needed to put on this album, and you can only have about 15 songs on it. But, Just the Way You Are, Billy Joel.
Billy Joel, sure.
That's an absolute classic. So I've got Cole Porter and Billy Joel and Elvis Presley. It's all on the album, but it's all done so beautifully. I'm so excited about this whole work and everybody who was involved. But picking out these songs, an Old Black Magic, what fun is that? It's a great album.
Great old Harold Arlen, Johnny Mercer song, yeah. That Old Black Magic.
Yeah.
I don't think any of those guys wrote bad songs, I think everything they wrote seemed to be great, those guys back in the 20s and 30s, right?
I think so. Well, it had meaning.
Yeah.
And you could understand the lyrics. And the melodies were catchy, and it meant something to you. And so when you're singing it, you can actually get involved in that and, think about your life and the experiences that you've gone through.
Sure.
And they match.
You mentioned Love Me Tender and Elvis. I think on one of our shows you've talked about meeting Elvis back in the day. Can you just give a couple of minutes on meeting Elvis Presley?
That was so great, because then it leads into something else that I was just thinking about. Dad was at Paramount, and so was Elvis Presley. And, of course, even though I was very little, there was no one bigger, no one better than Elvis Presley to us in those days. And I went to Paramount with my dad, and Elvis Presley came riding up on his bicycle. And he stopped when he saw Dad because he idolized my father, who didn't.
Sure.
And he got off his bike, and Dad introduced me to him. He said, Deana, this is Elvis Presley. And Elvis leaned down, and he said to me, it's nice to meet you. He said, they call me the king of rock and roll, but your dad is the king of cool. And I almost died right there. Because I said, well, it must be true.